What's going on, everybody? Chase on Two Wheels here at Triumph of Roswell, and in front of me I have a 2023 Triumph Scrambler 900, and today we are going to be doing a first ride on it around our first ride loop. And stick around to the end of the video and I'm going to tell you guys if this thing is a purchase or pass and who this bike is for. But it is a first ride. First off, let's see what it sounds like and let's see what it looks like. Did I say that backwards? I did. On accident. Alrighty guys, that's what it looks like, that's what it sounds like. Now this video is not sponsored, but it is supported by our website wbrgarage.com, where we get motorcycles and then we give them away to our members after we make some content on them. So if you guys want to get a chance to win one of our current bikes, you can click that link down below, find out the bikes we are giving away right now, and get yourself some entries. You might just win yourself a motorcycle. And thank you if you're already a member of WBR Garage. You guys know I love you a long time. Alrighty guys, let's get this first ride started. I am excited. I feel like I am a closeted Triumph stan, even though I don't own one. I have before, but only for a brief time. So guys, I'm 5'10", got a 32-inch inseam. As you can see, this bike is going to be fantastic for shorter riders. I've got very bent legs on this bike. You are going to be very comfortable. Let's get this parallel twin started. I know there's not a ton of love for the 270-degree crank parallel twins, but when a bike sounds like that stock, it's a hard conversation to not love it. All right, boys, let's get her going. Also, I love to remind you guys that we do have a Discord full of motorcycle enthusiasts just like yourself. If you're watching this video, it's totally free to join, and we would love to have you guys over there. So if you want to discuss first ride bikes and stuff like that, that's what we have over there. You guys help us decide what bikes to go ride and what things to look for on the bikes. So hopefully I can answer some questions for you. Links in the description as always. Let's get her going. A torquey beast today. Oh, I love the fit and finish on a Triumph. I have missed it. So guys, when it comes to modes, we do have rain mode, we have a road mode, and we have an off-road mode. And those modes do change the throttle mapping and everything. So we got authentic modes on this thing. And when that off-road mode actually turns off ABS and traction control, which is really neat. We are currently in rain mode now. So guys, like I mentioned, this is the Scrambler 900. And there is another Speed 900 that is similar to this. It does not have the cool side exhaust. From what I understand, Triumph is kind of changing up their names for these bikes right now. So I'm going to be honest. It's kind of confusing to me with the whole Bonneville line and what is a Scrambler, what's not. I'm not the most educated on it. Look, I'm just here to ride bikes and have fun, man. But it seems like they're going through a kind of a name change, so I'm hoping that name change will make things a little more obvious and easy to keep up with. But for now, Scramblers are one of my favorite styles of bikes from Triumphs, so I cannot wait to try this out today. Also, as far as competitors go, you're really focusing on the Ducati Scrambler line. I feel like that's the most direct competitor you're gonna get with this thing. Obviously, they're both Scramblers, just different companies, so that's what I'm gonna be comparing it to. I have ridden just about every Scrambler Ducati offers, So I feel like I have a good idea of what the current market looks like for this. So we'll get to see how good it is. Let's get it going in rain mode. Oh wow, you can tell the rain mode's tapered down. I mean, that's good. You want to see that in the rain mode. Alrighty, my friends, it's a first ride. Let's talk about body position. First up, you guys are going to notice the absolutely massive seat that this bike has on it. And it gives you plenty of room to kind of move around, and it is a pretty soft seat. I will say, after riding around on the seat for a while, I am sitting very upright. All of my weight is on that seat, and it's not the most comfortable thing to maybe ride all day long. I think you'd get a good 4 or 5 hours in it, and then it would probably start hurting a little bit. As far as the rest of the body position, we've got these handlebars coming up at us. Very comfortable, upright. My arms are kind of splayed out. It's really a comfortable body position, and my legs are semi-relaxed. They're a little behind me, but even if I wanted to, I could scoot back and put myself in an even more relaxed position, and having that big seat is what allows you to do that, so I think that's pretty cool. I'm digging the big seat, and ooh, let's test the brakes. We got a single rotor up front with a Brembo attached, and honestly, that does a fantastic job. I used to worry about bikes with single rotors up front. You guys can see we got the big rotor with a Brembo there, and then nothing on the other side. The first bike I ever rode that I really felt kind of worried about the single rotor was actually my Sportster S. And you worry about that until you actually use a bike with a single rotor, and you're like, oh, that's like so much plenty. Especially on a bike like this that's not really meant for like pushing the sports envelope. I'm very happy with that Brembo rotor. You know what, while we're stopped here, I'm gonna hit that mode button. We're gonna go into road, and I'm gonna hit the info, or I don't even have to hit the info button. Awesome. Damn, look how much info you get on that little screen. Let's do the gas to empty. Love that. 72 miles. Let's go. We're now in road mode, and if you guys don't think I'm gunning it at the green, you've lost your mind. No launch control either. I know everybody was wondering. Can you imagine this bike with launch control? That would actually be hilarious. On your mark, get set, go. Nobody's gonna kill us. Nobody's gonna kill us. Oh, torquey bikes are fun. I love them so much. Alrighty guys, let's talk about the city performance on the Scrambler 900. First up, we're on a bike with a parallel twin and a 270-degree crank. You have an almost equal horsepower to torque ratio on this bike. Horsepower-wise, we're looking at 64 horsepower with, I believe, 9 foot-pounds of torque, which is very odd. It's a very interesting way to ride a motorcycle. It's very torquey. I kind of want to say it's giving tractor vibes, but I think a lot of you guys are going to hear that and be like, oh, it's a tractor, it's slow. And that's not what I mean. The type of power that this bike offers is that kind of pull you through power, not the kind of push you along. I don't know if that makes sense, but another brake test. God! Nobody needs this much braking on this bike, but I love that it has it. Also, that is my favorite SUV currently. Just in case you guys are curious. I fucking love the look of that Aston. Jesus Christ. We all understand that I'm okay at slamming on brakes at red lights so that I get to throttle out of them, right? Like that we're all clear with that? Okay, cool. I didn't know if you guys were. I just had to make that clear. I am beginning to feel the heat from the exhaust. May it begin. All good? All good. So satisfying to ride like an idiot. All right, guys, so continuing our city conversation of this bike. So with the seat height and your handlebar combination, this bike does kind of sit you inside the bike. My hands feel like they're up high. My butt feels like it's low. And that puts me I feel like I'm inside the bike, which does make the steering feel a little slower. You know, if you're sitting on top of the bike and your handlebars are a little lower, you know, you being on top of the bike, you can really position yourself and use your body weight to kind of help steer. You don't really have that with a bike like this. You're more of inside the motorcycle, and it just makes it for a little slower of a turning situation, but I don't feel like it really matters for the vibe of this bike. I don't think this is This is not a performance motorcycle, so you got to look at it in a different way. But yeah, guys, like I was saying, the body position here, it just doesn't lead to you getting a really snappy feel on the handling. But I don't care, honestly. That's not what this bike is about. And I also think that larger front tire is probably going to push towards that feeling as well of just slightly more lethargic handling. But here's the thing. That's not this motorcycle's job, is to be this like really aggressive, sporty ride. It's to be this like cruising, chill bike that gives you a fun riding experience. It's not overly complicated. You know, yes, we have power modes and we have traction control, ABS, so on and so forth. But I feel like at the end of the day, this is kind of a stripped down, no real frills, just like enjoy the ride type of motorcycle. This is not a push the limits type of motorcycle, and I think you have to take that into consideration when you're looking into bikes and judging them and stuff like that, because not all bikes are supposed to be like freaking nutcases. I say it's not a nut job bike, and then you twist the throttle and that 900cc parallel twin just punches you through the air. And then I'm like, so what do you actually feel, Chase? Sitting here at a red light, you can start to feel the weight of this thing. It is a slightly heavier bike. You're looking at a weight of, I think, 491, something like right under 500 pounds. That's a pretty heavy bike for a 900cc in this class. You can feel that. So that kind of, everything I'm saying really kind of makes more sense of why it's feeling kind of slow going back and forth. I love the idle sound. Just the tiniest bit of throttle. God. I love 270 parallel twins. I absolutely
really?
love them. They are my favorite engine right now. Heat-wise, we are currently at a level 3. Level 3 is nothing, no big deal. Bike gets a little warm. If it was really cold one day, I would enjoy it. If it was really hot one day, I would probably just be slightly like, ugh. That's where 3 is. A Panigale is a 12. So, just so you guys have a reference. Torque is your friend. Torque is so your friend. You can do dumb stuff with the horsepower, but you can have a lot of fun with torque. I feel like that's kind of my distinction between the two powers. As you can see, ample power to get around traffic. I don't think anybody's going to wonder that, but, you know, putting it to the test. Probably going faster than I have any right to go. But the bike's capable, man. I think we've got every red light this ride so far. Can somebody calculate that? This might be a record. We might be working on a record pace here, boys. We all just chilling. We don't really know what's happening at the screen. Cool, cool. Every time I shift gears on this bike, it is so satisfying. My goodness. There is something extremely satisfying from riding just a good old bike. Like, it's not trying to be anything fancy. It's not trying to be the class leader of anything. And just being a good, beautiful, well put together motorcycle with enough torque to put a grin on your face. I feel like that's what this bike is reminding me right now. And granted, we're only in the city where this bike should be good. We haven't got to the highway yet, but you know, I ride so many motorcycles and so many bikes. It's like, oh, this one's the best at this, and this one's the best at this. And you kind of get caught up in this game of like, oh, what's this bike the best at? You know what I mean? But this bike is just like, look, dude, just chill out. Motorcycles are awesome. Get on the bike, ride it around, enjoy the sound, go forward in the world, and go on little adventures. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what this bike is giving me right now. And I'm kind of here for it. But we do have the highway entrance up here, brought to our buddies over at Law Tigers. If you guys are looking for a motorcycle lawyer, I got some friends. Check the link in the description if you are, unfortunately, in a position to need those guys. And we got to find out how fast this thing will go from 40 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour. All right, second gear, I think. All right, guys, on your mark. Before I get run over, get set, go. When do I shift? I don't know. Where's 80? There it is. Give me the time. Give me the time. Oh my God, that traffic is stopped. Oh no. At 340, this traffic is stopped? Oh no. Well, the highway test is gonna be slightly different today, ladies and gentlemen, which is perfect because I'm on a 5-speed. I'm not getting behind that truck. There's no shot. Alright guys, we get to do a first ride through shitty Atlanta traffic. Let's go. What I can tell you guys is from our camera car run where we did have a more open highway, which was nice. The wind resistance is the first thing I got to talk about because that caught me off guard when we were doing the highway run on the camera car. So the bike has no protection up front, so you would feel like wind would be bad. The thing is, because there's nothing there, there's nothing to really disturb the wind, so you end up having just this fresh flow of air, and it doesn't buffet anywhere, which was actually super nice. It was better than I expected it to be. So yeah, the wind resistance is obviously nothing's there, but it was actually, you know, because I had the clean air, I didn't really have to worry about it, and it just kind of flowed past me. It was actually kind of nice. Granted, I don't think this is something you're gonna do a tour on. You're not gonna pick this bike to go across the country, I don't believe. I came into this bike expecting it was gonna rumble a lot and it was gonna be really shaky, and I actually didn't find that. It was just like super chill, just like going on the highway. We do have a 5-speed transmission, so we don't have the normal 6-speed. I didn't find myself really wanting that because this bike does a good job of just being what it is. There's no cruise control, and somehow I don't care. It's not super agile. I don't care.
Are you sure about that?
There's so many things about this bike that I would typically care about because it's what I look for. I typically, you know, go towards the more sporty motorcycles, but something about being on this bike makes it kind of like I'm more chill or something. I'm just here for the ride, kind of. It actually reminds me of how I feel on ADV bikes. ADV bikes give me this feeling of like, you know, I'm here to enjoy the ride, not the destination, if that makes sense. And somehow the Scrambler 900 does that for me. It's kind of an interesting feeling. See, like on a regular motorcycle, like on my MT10 or something, I'd be in this traffic and I would be so annoyed. But like right now, I'm just like, hey man, look, I'm just here for the ride. I'm having a good time. I kind of love that. I love that it brings out the happy chase. This is great. That's what Triumphs do. They bring out the happy chase. What can I say? As long as no cars run into me, I will continue to be a happy chase. All right, so guys, this traffic's kind of bullshit and boring. So I'm going to cut to a montage thanks to our buddies over at Cardo. If you guys are looking for a Bluetooth helmet communicator, listening to music in your helmet, literally nothing is better than Cardo's. I got a discount link for you in the description. So let's get to a montage while I get through all of this. Alrighty guys, Cardo, thank you for that montage and for sponsoring the First Ride series. See, right now, I feel like I'm having to pull the bike over to like really lean. I can feel it wanting to stand up. It's not gonna be happy just like leaning into a turn. So keep that stuff in mind, fam. This is not gonna be your track day weapon. I don't think you would expect that, but you know, I'm here to tell the people. All right, guys, now that we're done with the highway, let's talk about this engine. 900cc parallel twin, super torquey, almost 1-for-1 horsepower and torque. You can very much feel it. These are the types of engines that people refer to as tractors. They pull you along. It's all torque and relatively low horsepower. It's entirely like its own riding experience on one of these. And I feel like you don't really get that crazy level of excitement out of a bike like this, but I don't know if you're buying a bike like this to get that crazy level of excitement. I think this is more of a, I want the classic, beautiful look of a Triumph, and I just want a fun, reliable bike to ride around. I don't think this is gonna be your, you know, you're riding around, hitting the twisties, giving it everything you got. I just don't think you do that with this bike. I think you You have a good time, of course. You ride around, you enjoy yourself, but oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, I think the engine's awesome. I love the torquiness. You know, would this fill my want for sport? Absolutely not. But am I having a great time riding it? I absolutely believe I am. The suspension seems fine, kind of like the other stuff on this bike. I wouldn't write home about the suspension, but I don't think I need to. It's been totally adequate for what I'm doing. And it's just a good vibe, dude. I'm just chilling. I'm just enjoying myself, you know what I mean? Not taking it too seriously and just enjoying the wind. Secondly, to the torque, I think the brakes are the second most surprising thing. Just like how much power you have with them when you need it. They are definitely there. Do not let that single rotor make you have assumptions. Now, let's move on to the instrument cluster, where I would argue that Triumph is one of the class leaders. Like, Triumph just put so much fit and finish into their motorcycles. If you ask me, and the one like phrase or term that I correspond with Triumphs is fit and finish. That's the one thing I feel like they do absolutely top class. And you can feel that with the buttons. You can feel that on the buttons with every single Triumph. They all feel great. They have a good feel when you click them. They look high quality. I just love that. And if I'm gonna spend more money on a bike, which if I'm buying a Triumph, I am gonna be spending more money than I otherwise would with like a Japanese bike or something like that. That's the kind of stuff I want. I want that nice finish. I want the detail in the tiny little areas. When I get off the bike later and I walk around it, I'll show you guys all the little details of this bike are so good, especially on the Chrome edition that we have here. You know, there's no performance upgrades. It's $200 and you get little chrome bits here and there, so it's just a cosmetic thing. But I mean, it's a Triumph. It looks fantastic, you know what I mean? So controls wise, over here, pretty simple. We have our start stop, we have our hazards. It's really nice to have hazards on the bike. Not a lot of bikes have hazards, so it's nice to see that. We have adjustable levers. They are chrome. We love that. Not chrome, but they are silver. Loving that. Very simple switch over here. We got your mode button, info button that changes the little LCD dash up there. And then obviously the horn. Sounds like that. And we have the turn signals right here. Really simple setup. Grips feel fine. Nothing really there. I do feel like the dash is a little farther from me than I kind of expected it to look. But I love the like manual dial going around the dash. I love, you guys know, I love the TFT dashes we're getting on a lot of bikes right now. But, I mean, look at this bike. You cannot put a TFT dash on this bike. It would look so wrong. I'm very glad Triumph did not do that. It would not feel right if they did that. I think the dash is solid. That little screen underneath it does a great job of, you know, giving you all the information you need other than the speed, which was what that dial is for. I think Triumph nailed what they're doing. Also, guess what? When you put a blinker on, it blinks one side or the other. Thank you. I know that's not a big deal, but I literally can't stand the one green light for both blinkers. I'm like, dude, I want to make sure I got the right blinker on. Like, come on, tell me. Other things that we can touch on is the throttle and the shifting, because I feel like it's very particular on this bike. I don't know if it's because I'm sitting in the bike. I don't know if it's because, you know, we've got almost identical horsepower to torque, but there is something about the throttling on this bike that makes you feel like you are actually like controlling this bike. I know that sounds dumb or maybe doesn't make sense, but Triumph has nailed the connection between the throttle and the actual power of the bike, and I feel like they've done a fantastic job. Nice. Also, the shifter on this bike. This one's adjusted a little up. If I owned the bike, I would adjust it a little up, but the feeling of when you shift, you get this mechanical click feel, and again, it just makes you so connected with the bike, and I really appreciate a little stuff like that. Speaking of things I appreciate are looks, so we're going to pull off and do a little walk around with the bike. I know you guys have been seeing the bike with all that camera car footage. Also, shout out to all of our sponsors of the First Ride Show. We would not be able to afford that camera car if it wasn't for all of those sponsors. So you guys supporting those sponsors, massive support to us. So thank you guys so much for supporting them. All right, let's go through the parking lot and let's do a little walk around of the old Scrambler 900. All right, walk around time. Alrighty, guys, 2023 Triumph Scrambler 900 with the green tank and the chrome edition. The chrome edition is going to give you this modified tank logo. It's going to do the something on the fender, something over here. I don't know. Little bits here and there is what your $200 is going to get you. I just realized the chain is on this side. That is very strange. I'm kind of here for it, though. Like, I like this shot. That would be so weird working on that. Alrighty, guys, so that's the Scrambler 900. The Scrambler specifically is going to have this little side exhaust piece that's like the iconic look for the Scrambler. Oh, that's the other chrome. Depending on your position, you can't really see it, but there's chrome there on the side. Very cool little bike, very retro. I say little, but it's a freaking 900. A very old school bike. Got this giant seat. I would say it's not the most comfortable seat. I would see if I could get a different seat there, because I've been riding the bike around for about 2 hours now, and it's not the most comfortable thing. So the fit and finish that I'm talking about is, if you just look at the engine, you can tell that it was designed to look like it does. Like, all the parts look intentional. Triumph there. We have this beautiful exhaust. I mean, like, the bike sounds good, so you don't even need to get a different exhaust. I'm not in love with the forks on this bike, but the forks on the Scrambler 1200, which is Triumph's like really like high level Scrambler, the forks on it are super nice. One of the things I am a little like, why'd you do that? I didn't expect that from Triumph, is the headlight, and the lighting on the bike is old school incandescent. So we'll put the flashers on. No LEDs. And I feel like it's cheaper to do LED, so I don't really know why they would do that. And you can get the colored LEDs, so it's not like they wanted that color specifically. So I don't know. If you guys know in the comments why they went incandescent, let me know. I'm kind of curious about that. But yeah, the main negative for me on this bike is the forks. I feel like it could be better. They're not adjustable or anything like that. So I feel like there's a little left to be desired there, but if you think about what this bike is going to be used for, I don't think it's a big deal. I do kind of love the number plate, the little embossed Scrambler 900. I don't even know if you guys can see that. Cool little look there. It's just a fun little bike. You know what I mean? It doesn't take motorcycling too seriously. I think too many bikes are taking motorcycling too seriously right now, and it's nice to just be like, look, it's a fun little bike. It's awesome. Love it. Love the looks. Love the ride. I'd have a phenomenal time on this thing. So guys, that's it for the walk around. I'm going to grab my phone off the quad lock. Shout out quad lock. So I'm going to do some content for our guys over on Instagram and TikTok. If you guys are not following us over there, we're at C2WPics on Instagram, and we're at Chaseontwowheels on TikTok. We make specific content for those people, so go follow us over there. And I'm going to make that content. I'll be right back. Alrighty, my friends, social media stuff is done. Let's do a steering sim lock test. Let's talk if it's a purchase or pass and who it's for. Boom. Ooh, not the greatest. That is not a great steering sim lock, I'm gonna be honest. Come on, little Scram, you can do better than that. All right, guys, purchase or pass, and who's it for? Oh, so good. Alrighty, guys, so purchase or pass on the 2023 Scrambler 900. For me personally, I'm gonna go with pass because there's nothing this bike does for me that I would necessarily need in a bike right now. I don't really need a city cruising bike, but I love this bike for what it is. And the person that I feel like would absolutely love this bike is somebody that doesn't take motorcycling too crazy serious. Like, not that you don't love motorcycling, but this is kind of the cruise around, you know, go for a weekend ride around town, fantastic city bike. And then go on little rides here and there, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need a full track suit and head up to the mountains or do track days, or you don't need a $3,000 an ADV suit to go on a cross-country trip. motorcycling is just a casual thing and you like a classic look on a bike, this bike is going to be more than ample and incredibly fun around town with all of the torque it has. It's a absolutely beautiful bike if you're into that kind of retro-y vibe, and I think the styling on the side is going to be great. It's even got the off-road mode, so if you want to do the light dirt road or something like that, you can totally do that. I think you can scram on it. You know what I mean? I think it's a crazy, awesome, unique little bike that for the right person would be absolutely fantastic. I personally find myself wanting to be a little more sporty than I would really want to do on this bike, and that's why I went with Pass. But I really think a lot of you guys, you should really check this bike out. The torque is the thing that is going to surprise you the most, I think, because it will just pull you through. And guys, that's about all I've got for the Scrambler 900. Shout out to Triumph Roswell for letting us loan the motorcycle for this first ride. If you guys want to check them out, we will have a bike provided by link in the description for you to see if they still have the bike available, if that's something you're looking into. If you guys made it to this point in the video, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Put OC in your comment down below after you like the video, and let me know. Are you in the mood or in the mode for like a Scrambler style motorcycle? Does this bike make sense for you with the type of riding you do? Or would you pick something else? And if you pick something else, just let me know. I'm interested in having a conversation with you guys in the comments. I'm Chaseontwowheels. You guys go out there and ride safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.